discuss issues about this thing called life. Today's issue, Buhay Step Dad. And to shed light on this matter, to share with us his journey as a stepfather to Elise, let us all welcome to the show Dr. Charlie Lasa. Charlie, welcome to Buhay Parang Life.
Hello, and thank you for having me here.
Naku, I'm sure, Charlie, marami kang ma-inspire no, ng mga stepdad out there. So, Charlie, well, I've heard the story of Peggy, pero syempre ibang episode ito. Share with us a little about your love story with Peggy. Kailan kayo nagkilala? Paano kayo nagkilala?
Well, I met her within 6 months of the death of my first wife. So okay. I had a fraternity brother who was a classmate of Peggy in Philippine Science, and he wanted to be the match, to make a date between us, to be some kind of a matchmaker. Eh, ang problema, hindi naman niya mapa-oo si Peggy kahit anong gawin niyang persuasion.
Alright. Did you want to be matched? Did you want? Gusto naghahanap ka ba talaga ng ka-date noon that time?
Well, not immediately, but I knew eventually that my youngest son, Christopher, who was only around 6 years old when her mom died, I knew eventually that he would need someone to, provide the maternal side of child raising, di ba?
You have 2 sons. Sabi mo si Christopher was 6. What about the older one, si Carlo? How old was he?
When his mother died, he was 13.
13 and 6 years old sila at that time. So when you finally met Peggy, alam ko yung naging impression niya of you. Ano naman ang impression mo of her?
Well, as you know, I'm a plastic surgeon by profession.
Nakita mo kagad yung kailangan mo. But you were very young at that time, so I can imagine flawless si Peggy.
So initially, of course, you evaluate a person according to what you see. And Peggy naman was very attractive. So she had the classical attributes of what is beautiful, good facial balance, harmony, and all those things that a plastic
surgeon. Good facial balance, okay.
And then I knew we had somewhat similar, we had some similarities in our background because we both took college in UP Diliman. Although 1 year lang ang agwat namin, I was 1 year ahead of her. I never actually met her on campus.
Yes, because like you were in different colleges, I can imagine. Hindi naman siya nag-medicine. But there was a lot of things to talk about kasi pareho kayong UP.
Yes, not only that, since we were only a year apart, we shared the same taste in music, and the same historical milieu, growing up under martial law and all these things. So we had a lot of common.
So after you met her, kinwento mo ba ito sa mga anak mo?
Initially, no, not yet, no, because I was just trying to figure out if he would be a suitable partner, number one, and then of course a suitable mother to my children. So nasa isip ko na kagad yun, when I was getting to know her.
Was it more of looking for a mother to your sons more than looking for a companion for yourself?
At that point, it's so hard to put percentage So 40% ganito, 60%
Oo.
ganito.
Yes.
So,
Oo.
so hard to do that. But I knew that my son's happiness was as important or even more important to me at that point. No, I didn't want them to suffer if the person I chose was not a good person.
Of course, of course. So when did you introduce Peggy to your sons?
Oh, maybe several months after we had already been talking, emailing one another. So,
What about Peggy's daughter to you? Kailan kayo nagkilala ni Elise?
uh, I met her when I finally visited Peggy at home. And
Okay.
actually, I was forewarned, so I knew what to expect. I knew that the reception may not be.
What were you forewarned about? Sinasabi ni Elise sa mom niya?
Well, she would uh, she would really discourage my mom by putting up scenarios. Sabi niya, Ma'am, paano kung may baril yan? Kasi nga, hindi niya ako kilala. I wasn't part of the circle of titos that she got to know growing up.
Right.
So she was very worried about who I was.
So knowing the thoughts of Elise, how was your first meeting?
Well, I tried to be as nice as I could, but of course, you don't get the warmth that you would like.
So hindi siya naging warm sa'yo?
Not initially, no. In fact, there was one time, ito siguro, I had been visiting them for around 2 months, 3 months na. And then I noticed she was seated sa living room mag-isa and looking at the floor, looking sad.
Okay.
So I approached her and I asked, "Hi Elise, what's wrong? You look sad." And you know what she did? She looked at me with a really angry stare.
Oh, why? Okay.
She told me, "You're ruining my life."
Okay. So what was your reaction?
Well, I think God gave me the grace to be calm. And after taking it in, I told her, I don't worry, I understand why you said that. And I don't take it against you. But I told her, but you know, your mom knows a lot better. If she doesn't think that I can be good for you, she will let me know. Because your mom is thinking about your welfare.
So after that, how was her reception of you? So sinabi niya na sa iyo, no? She told you directly, you are ruining my life. Pero syempre, that did not stop you from pursuing Peggy. So nagkikita kayo, you would visit her, you would go
Yes,
out together. Ano yung pakitungo niya sa iyo? And you towards her?
well, eventually she warmed up when she found out na I wasn't the bad person that she suspected me to be.
Wala kang baril.
And it took time. So that's why Peggy would invite me to their family trips.
Mm-hmm.
I would bring my 2 sons.
So when Elise finally met your 2 sons, how did she treat them? Paano yung pakikitungo niya sa kanila? Considering na medyo ayaw niya sa'yo, di ba?
Elise was a very observant person. So she would also try to gauge them. And when she realized that they're just regular kids, eventually she warmed up.
So when you finally decided to get married, what were the thoughts in your mind? Knowing, hinintay mo bang mag-warm up si Elise sa'yo before you decided to get married? Nung bang
Uh,
nagpakasal kayo, okay na kayo ni Elise?
yeah, because maybe around a year after I met them, it was Father's Day. From out of the blue, she told me that she loved me.
Teka, hindi pa mag-asawa na ba kayo nun o hindi pa?
Not yet.
Oh, she just told you she loved you. So anong naramdaman mo?
Kami ni Peggy were teary-eyed. Because we were not expecting it.
What do you think happened along the way na for Elise to realize that she loves you?
Well, I guess she saw that I really cared for her mom and for her. So
na ano niya yun, ano, naramdaman niya yung real care.
and I respected her as a person, even though she was young.
So how would you compare your expectations of being a stepfather from, your expectations versus reality nung finally you are under one roof? Nagpakasal na kayo, so sama-sama na kayo. Were your expectations met o parang iba yung reality? Parang hindi pala ganon, mahirap pala.
I did not have any unrealistic expectations. After all, prior to meeting Peggy, I have been married for almost 15 years. So I knew what to expect, that kids will be kids. And sa amin, I don't know if Peggy told you, there was no such thing as thinking na she is my stepson or stepdaughter, and my son her stepsons. Wala yun. Even my in-laws, they treated my sons as their real blood apo.
The real apo, yung side ni Peggy.
My parents treated Elise as their real granddaughter.
That is nice. So what were the major challenges for you being a man, a father who did not raise a daughter kasi wala kang anak na babae, and then suddenly there you have right before you a young lady. So ano yung major challenges nan for you?
Well, at that time she was already in her teens. So
mahirap yun, hindi ba? To parent a teenage daughter.
So Peggy and I had an agreement that whoever is the biological parent will take primary charge. Of course,
So
I would have some input if it concerned Elise, and she would have her own input with regards to my sons. But we would not insist on our own preferences.
Has it ever happened that Elise told you na, o nakarinig ka from Elise na, you do not have the right to tell me that you are not my father. Or if my father was alive, he would have allowed me to do this. Alam mo, teenager, nakarinig ka ba ng ganun?
No. Because I never treated her like that. I was a teenager once, so I knew how a teenager thought. So I respected her as a person. Now, during that,
Go
during
ahead,
that
Charlie.
we caught her doing things that she's not supposed to do. I would leave it to Peggy to, to be the one to talk to her and put down whatever disciplinary measure has to be done.
I know that Elise is also a mom na already, right? No,
Right.
during the time na nililigawan siya, what were you feeling? Kasi normally pag yung, like for example, my dad or my husband to the daughters, parang laging may takot yung magulang yung tatay, hindi ba? Pag nililigawan na yung anak. Did you feel that way? Nagkaroon ka ba ng ganong feelings na, ako, nililigawan na tong anak ko, tong stepdaughter ko? May ganon ba?
Alam mo, siguro maswerte lang ako dyan. Kasi we knew the parents of the boy. The guy who was courting Elise was also part of Ligaya ng Panginoon community. And they actually grew up as kids together. No? They went through children's formation, yung mga summer camps and all these things. So they were not strangers to one another. Magkakilala na sila ng the longest time, and then we knew the parents. So we really did not have any concerns at all.
Kasi nga, lumaki rin pala sa community si Elise. What about your boys, Carlo and Christopher? Nung nagpakasal kayo, did you bring them to community?
Yes. Of the two,
did they willingly go?
Si Carlo was the one who had a problem adjusting. Teenager na siya, so
right.
He had his preferences when it came to who he wanted to be his friends. But for Christopher, he had no problem at all. He just integrated himself with all the other kids.
What are the joys of being a stepfather to a lady, to a young lady?
Well, having a daughter, syempre, the daughters love you in a different way compared to sons. Daughters are more malambing and they're more expressive as compared to boys. In terms of kasi love language, iba ang way of expressing love ng daughter compared to sons.
How does she introduce you to her friends? Before, how did she introduce you to her friends? Classmates would come over.
Well, he introduced me as Tito Charlie. Tito ang tawag because that's one thing also, I didn't impose that I be called dad or papa. So just call me whatever you feel most comfortable calling me. And I don't want naman to compete with her dad for the title if she doesn't feel at ease, diba? And of course, her friends, before they came to meet me, they already knew me as Tito. Because they knew
What?
Elise's story.
Yes. What was the most, what I might say, poignant or most sentimental words that you have heard from Elise, written or verbal? Kasi di ba ngayon sa Facebook, nagpo-post ang mga bata. What was the most beautiful words that you have heard from her?
Oh, definitely. When you hear her saying "I love you," iba talaga. Mas ano siya, mas natural and expressive when she says that.
So you were the one who gave her away in marriage.
Yes.
I can imagine may speech siya doon. Would you remember some of the words that, attributed to you?
I don't think we gave them that burden. Parang I don't think we
All
we
right.
had
Any
the ceremony or even afterwards in the program. I don't think meron ganun.
any final message for our viewers out there? This is under Faith Watch. We have over 190,000 subscribers. Marami dyan, Filipinos living abroad. Share, what is your final message to those men who are probably in the same state as you are in? Yung bang, you ruined my life. Yung mga nakarinig din ng ganon sa mga anak ng gusto nilang mapangasawa ulit.
Well, you really have to treat your future stepchildren with respect. You have to treat them with love and don't expect it to come back so soon. It's like just do what how you would want to be treated if you are in their place.
Thank you so much, Dr. Charlie Lasa. Thank you so much for all the wisdom that you shared in this episode. And I thank you, my dear viewers, for watching this. If you have not done so, I would like to ask you to please like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel and Facebook page. We value your comments. So please feel free to write down your comments and suggestions in the box provided below. We look to Saint Joseph, the patron of families, to help us take care of the families that God has given us. All for Jesus, all through Mary, all by the example of our patriarch, Saint Joseph. Amen. This is Rita Dairit, reminding you today, haba-habaan po ang pasensya sapagkat ang buhay parang life.